This is Noah Wick over at Trial Exhibits. Wanted to show how our fetal heart monitor player works. Once I've sent a link to the fetal heart monitor player, you would find it as a zip folder. We're going to right click, go to extract all, find a spot probably on your desktop, click next, and a folder should pop up that shows the file itself here. We're going to open this folder, find the Flash program here, right click, go down to Properties, Compatibility tab, run this program in compatibility mode and change it to 7. This will help with any potential bugs you might run through depending on what your update is. And then go to Apply and OK. Then I'm going to right click on it again, run as administrator, say yes. And here it is fully popped up. So running through a little bit of how this thing works, we have the control functions if you put your mouse up to the top to play in real time. We can also go at, I believe it's like 20 times the speed. And we can also stop and skip per page and back. Another way to move it is actually using the mouse function here, which you would need to have it on the mouse tools button, and you can click and drag along as well. Another option is grabbing this bottom bar and sliding it along to wherever you would like. Some of the other functions of this is we have a 10-minute focus mode. So you can move it along and focus just on 10 minutes of the strip. We can also add a layer for what's within the normal range of 110 to 160. Yes, 110 to 160. And a few other options here as well. So if we want to show what the beats per minute is, I can click on that line, drag it, and show where it's at. Same thing here with the bottom for contractions. Next options here is we can zoom in, and here is going to be the full zoom in button right here. We can also zoom out a little bit, or if we want to go back to normal, we press the 1. Going over some of the tools that are down below here. First I have under the tools button is a paintbrush. So I can choose my color. I'm going to say I'm going to go with green, and I want to circle this and maybe change it to purple, circle that. Next button I have over here to the right of that is the erase button. To the right of that is a kind of a highlight square button. So if I wanted to focus on just this part as a purple and this part being yellow, I can do so. And again, if I go over to the tools button for the eraser, all I have to do is just click on them in order for them to go away. With the circles and the drawing, you have to be pretty precise of where you're clicking on for it to go away though. And if I wanted to go back into moving this thing around, I would need to go back to the mouse tool in order to give you that functionality again. Under the annotations tab, you can toggle off and on annotations. And what I mean by annotations is if you have nursing notes or doctor notes that you want to point to, let's just say we're moving along here and we want to focus on this portion right here. Well, I'll make a note. It'll say enter text here. I'm going to go down to the edit button and just say contraction. And then I'm going to be able to choose one of these black marks, kind of like the border marks here, and I can end up pointing over to certain areas. So if I'm going to point to right here, I can actually expand these as well. I can move this box wherever I need to. I can change how big the font's going to be, as well as the color. So this is really helpful if you end up having a series of different experts or two different nurses that have different testimony or different notes on here. I could also toggle that off and on. You'll notice that when I do toggle on, that I've created now a hotspot, which is going to be a yellow button where if I go along anywhere on this, it will end up bringing it to the very front of that. So easier to go around. Some of the other annotations I can have is a circle. And also, if you go into with the circle and the annotations, you can go to edit and change the color of that as well and move it along wherever you need to. I can make an arrow. And also can move that around, change the colors of it, and a caution sign. And there are 2 different colors for that as well. All the annotations on here can then be saved under going to File, name the file whatever, I'll just say Noah's, and it's going to be saved as an XML file, and you want to save the file directly in the same folder as where the player is, so that later on when you reopen this program, you would end up going to open and open up the XML file here. All the annotations that you've made from this section will all stay. There's another part built in here where we'll have the page number from once these are all stitched together of which page it was, probably in the records, and you will be able to type in that number down here. If I want to go to page 40 and press enter, and it'll go straight to that spot. Last thing we also have available on here is going to a samples folder, and let's just say we want to review this and we want to show an example of what an early deceleration is. So we have various different samples throughout this to use as well. If you end up getting stuck, you can always click on the question mark here and we'll show you the tools and what you're able to do as some options as well. Hopefully that helps out. Let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks.